Chapter 2, The Billionaire's Offer. You just pushed Ashton Park, the man who once broke your heart, into a rooftop pool at his own party. Maybe it's his disarming smile, or the Ashton is dripping wet, his shirt completely see-through, but this time you don't storm away in rage. From the pool's edge, you regard Ashton as he treads water in the soft glow. He crooks a finger at you, beckoning you closer. Don't leave me now. Every nerve in your body sings those promising words, spoken in the sultry voice. The glint in his eyes promise a delicious kind of trouble. As if under a spell, you lean in, his hand closes around yours. Things were just getting good. And he pulls you into the water with him. You're both soaked, and you're so close you could kiss him. With a devilish grin, he presses you against the pool wall, his body flush against yours. Do you have any idea how long I've waited to touch you like this? He presses his lips to your neck, and you gasp, tangling fingers in his wet clothing. You trail your fingers over his defined pecs, reveling in the blaze of his skin on yours, the cool relief of the water. He shifts, pulling you closer, and you bite your lip as his peck brushes your breast. You're perfect. You're everything I've ever wanted. Nora, don't stop. You can't help but oblige. You touch him again, his body at your fingertips. And you jolt awake to your phone's alarm. You scramble to silence your phone, your heart still pounding. Imagine if it had actually happened like that. Your lips tingle with the ghost of the dream Ashton's kiss, but your still ears burn from the callous way he spoke to you. In your mind, you play over what really happened after you pushed Ashton into the pool. He's spluttering, shivering, apology, the click of your heels on the pavement as you walked away. Nora, please wait, let me explain. Find some other girl to take home tonight. After all, you've had plenty of practice. I want nothing to do with the version of Ashton, so why do I want to slip back into that dream? Close your eyes, willing yourself back to sleep, but your brother calls through the door. Nora, I know you're up. With a yawn, you roll out of bed and with messy hair and rumpled pajamas, sleepily padding into the kitchen. To find Ashton Park at your dinky little breakfast table nursing a cup of coffee. Morning, sleepyhead. Ashton, what the hell are you doing here? Nora, be nice. If you want me to be nice, try coming over in the afternoon. Infuriatingly, Ashton bites into an apple, that delightful crunch of his teeth sending goosebumps down your arms. Still not a morning person, Nora? You level Ashton with the full force of your glare, but he's unbothered, his eyes twinkling as he takes in your rumpled appearance. Why does he look like one of those guys who's like a male escort? Just the shirt and everything. Only when I'm paid to be. His eyes fall from your face to the thin, lacy hem of your shorts. You slip into your seat beside him, grateful the table covers your bare thighs. It's my birthday weekend, Nora, so put your sass in the sass trash. Ashton wanted to catch up, just the three of us, since last night kind of turned into a disaster. You stiffen, expecting Eddie to chastise you for shoving Ashton into the pool, but... I mean, no offense to Ashton, but... a girl and a cake? What were you thinking? Just an attempt to show you what life could be like if you considered my proposal. I mean, if you're trying to sell me on the business idea of yours, debauchery is not the way. Dominic Ziemer didn't earn me any points in the negotiation, not even one. Instead of answering, Eddie rolls his eyes and tosses a dish towel at Ashton. As your brother grumbles about the moral depravity among the rich, Ashton reaches past you for the creamer. You didn't tell him about the pool? The heat of his body burns through your pajamas, his lips are a breath away from your ear. It's our secret. Eddie begins to blend up his famous hangover cure, and you focus on anything but how close your leg is to Ashton's. If Ashton has affected you, or as affected as you are, he doesn't show it. He glances around the room and leans in to whisper close again. I didn't realize you and Eddie still live together. It must be hard for a grown woman to have a certain lifestyle that way. Shut up. My lifestyle is none of your business. I'm trying to think of your freedom. Surely your older brother holds you back a bit. My freedom is none of your concern. Did I not make that clear enough for you? His flirty demeanor vanishes. He winces and discreetly clears his throat. You clearly haven't forgotten about last night. Not even close. He reaches for your hand under the table and squeezes it for a brief, delicious second. Your anger fades. Lost in his touch, you think it would be easy to just throw away every single reservation you have. I owe you an apology, I know, but... He nods towards Eddie. Your brother would only need to turn around to realize something's up between the two of you. If I'm going to do it properly, we should talk or he can't overhear. Wouldn't you agree? You know giving Ashton an inch is a recipe for a mile of heartbreak, but you also really want to hear him grovel. I'll tolerate it, but I can still be mad at you. Of course, I never ask you to take it easy on me. By the time Eddie joyously holds his concoction aloft, you and Ashton are on the opposite ends of the table. Who's ready for a fresh start? Pun intended, I assume. After forcing down Eddie's newest concoction, you slip out to your favorite cafe down the block. Ashton orders for you and places the mug on the table with care. You raise your eyebrows as you take in the heart-shaped foam. Interesting latte art. I figured every little bit helps. Is the heart too much? You take a sip instead of answering, and he sits across from you. You eye him as he fidgets with his napkin. Don't check it out now, just say what you came here to say. Sighing, he puts down his napkin and finally meets your gaze. Nora, I know I disappointed you last night. I wish I'd said anything else. You mean when you wanted to get... yeah, no, we'll get it over with. Ashton sighs, scrubbing his forehead with his hand. That was entirely the wrong thing to imply, and I'm sorry. It wasn't your finest moment. Have you forgotten who I am? I know you, Nora. You are a very talented woman who deserves to be treated with respect and hopefully is also very forgiving. I'm still thinking about it. Check back in 5 to 7 business days. Ouch. His mouth presses into a thin line but doesn't buckle under the weight of your gaze. A lot has changed since we were kids. I could never forget you, Nora, but I think I forgot how to talk to you. Something in you softens at that. I guess we haven't really talked since... my graduation, yeah. The way we left things, it didn't lend to easy conversation. The way you left things. You're right, I made a choice, but I'm not apologizing for then. We're talking about now. You reluctantly shove the memory of Ashton's rejection away, but you can't erase the lingering sting. I know you were giving me a chance to prove you wrong about me, and I completely and utterly messed it up. So let me be clear, you aren't just some conquest to me. I should have known better than to speak to you that way, ever, in any capacity. You should have... And I'm not convinced you learned anything. Talk is cheap. You're gonna have to prove it. How fortuitous of you to say. That is exactly what I intend to do. When you said I'm not used to women walking away from me, you were correct. My world isn't known for vulnerability. You feel a painful twinge between your ribs as you picture Ashton with other women melting under the full force of his charm. I can't remember the last time someone told me no with that much emphasis. Push your lips, maintaining a cool air for composure as you will your feelings to fade, and Ashton goes in for the kill. And if it's not too bold of me to say, it was kind of a turn-on. God, this man. Your heart pounds wildly in your chest. You know you shouldn't, but you can't resist playing along. If that turns you on... These replies are... imagine next time you piss me off. I'll remember what you're into. I wonder what else gets you going. I'll just go with the middle one. He grins, and you know you're swimming in dangerous waters, teasing him like that. I'm not just baiting Ashton, I'm testing myself. If you keep saying things like that to me, I'm going to need another dip in the pool. His voice is low, with meaning, and a vibrant warmth blooms from your neck to your ears. That can be arranged very easily. His hand reaches for yours, but then he seems to think better of it, stopping just short of your touch. He's really trying to show me he's still in there. You lift your gaze to Ashton's, considering crossing the distance yourself, and he speaks again. If you'll allow it, I have a second leg of apology. This tour plan, a sweetener, if you will, proving my words with action. It involves a yacht in Malibu and a very exclusive guest list. So basically, you're using your money to try and send an apology. Got it. You want to apologize to me via celebrity? Not quite. I have a +1 tonight, and it seemed like something you would enjoy. His eyes sparkle with mischief, sparking your curiosity. There's no one else I'd rather share the sunset with. I realize you'd be my date in name only. Unless, of course, you've had a change of heart. We'll talk at the end of the video. Tempting, and I'm not above the occasional groveling. Then it's a date. You arrive in Malibu shortly before sunset. Ashton escorts you from the car all the way down to the docks. You stare up at the imposing yacht as you approach, dwarfed in the shadow of its height. Don't tell me the yacht belongs to you two. I confess, I haven't really explored the boat market as of yet. I was too enamored by the promises of air travel. So no, she's not mine. This beauty belongs to a dear friend of mine. Who is this dear friend? I can't ruin the surprise, Nora, but I bet my net worth that you've heard of her before. Ashton steps onto the gangplank as if he frequents the yacht parties on a weekly basis, all suave confidence and balance. He holds out a hand for you, and you know it's only to help you aboard, but... You take his hand, squeezing his fingers tightly in your hand as he helps you onto the bridge. Right, now, I feel like a fish out of water or a mermaid out of water. I hope that makes me the dashing prince and not the evil sea witch. It depends on how the evening pans out. Fair enough. Regardless, I'll help you find your sea legs. Just don't let go. Once safely aboard, you and Ashton stroll along the deck hand in hand. You take in the Yeoman, setting course for deeper waters, the polished exterior of the ship, and the breathtaking view of the Malibu's coastline. Well, what are your thoughts so far? Any notes for me? Scattered around the yacht, celebrities you almost recognize smooze and dine on tiny appetizers. Darling, please. Red light facials are so yesterday. Botox is in again. Is that Marilyn Gooseberry, star of the reality dating show, exactly right for me? Yes. Can't go back, Marilyn. You know I have an allergy to needles. And that's Pearson Chow. He was huge last season. Aston, why are you so calm? Brushing elbows with a talent happens a lot more than you'd think. You tear your eyes away from the celebrities to watch Ashton's profile as you walk, chewing on your next words carefully. I don't want him to get a big head, but this yacht is no joke. I have to admit, This is one hell of an apology. I'm not letting you off the hook completely, but I have a chance. Maybe. Progress is progress, and we can only hope or go from up from here. You haven't even seen the main event yet. I knew you'd love this, and you haven't even seen the best part yet. That's a bit redundant what he just said. Ashton, darling! No freaking way. Ooh. You nearly pinch yourself as your favorite childhood actress. Air kisses your childhood crush. Lupe, my darling, looking radiant as always. Oh, stop flirting with me. You have a beautiful young woman on your arm who deserves the full force of your charms. Let me introduce to you to one of my oldest, dearest friends, an incredibly talented producer. This is Nora Bentley. It's so nice to meet you, Miss Montoya. Oh, so this is Nora. Ashton might have mentioned your name once or 1,000 times. But that would mean Ashton talks to Lupe Montoya about me. Your knees wobble, and before you can grab the deck railing, Ashton slides his arm around your waist, propping you upright. Who knows? If your talent is enough to catch Ashton's eye, perhaps we'll wind up working together one day. Wow, Miss Montoya, that would be an absolute dream. Call me Lupe, please. Of course, Lupe. Now enough chattering with an old lady like me. Please enjoy the hors d'oeuvres. The accoutrements spared no expense. And then, as quickly as she appeared, he flits away, leaving you staring after her. Okay, how do you know Lupe Montoya? You're utterly starstruck by it all. The yacht, view, fact that Lupe Montoya knows your name. Oh, did you find that interesting? She's in one of our dramas releasing in Q4 of next year. It's a spicy one, too. You employ her? And what was that thing she said about knowing me? When we were in talks for the movie, I may have used our shared love of her films to add a personal touch. She was honored, by the way. As the sun slowly sets, and as you and Ashton lounge on the deck, you realize you're powerless to hold a grudge against him. So, how successful would you say this apology has been? Are we in B tier or A tier? Nah, you're still in D with me. Oh, we're in S territory. Oh my god, woman, have some dignity. It even makes me think. You were paying attention all these years. You've got a big heart under all these big gestures. The Ashton, I remember, would groan about how the first movie was so boring. It had already put Eddie to sleep. I wonder why I was so worked up. Must have been something or someone. Because I care about what's important to you, Nora. I always have. You try not to melt onto the deck as the implications threaten to overwhelm you. And while they do say, never meet your heroes, Lupe and I have known each other for a few years now. It was a risk I was willing to take. And I'd never forget your favorite actress. How many marathons of her films did you force me into? A sensible 74? It was torture, sitting next to you like a gentleman, not being able to do the very things we watched on screen. You keep your face carefully blank, trying to absorb his insinuation. Those were romance films. You begin to reframe the memory in your mind. Ashton's feigned disinterest, now the angst of a teenager hiding a crush. You couldn't have been. He pulls you closer, making sure you're looking straight into his eyes. Is it so hard to believe that I wanted you even then? None of this tracks with the Ashton's rejection, the narrative you've been clinging to for years. You had the unrequited crush. Maybe. Why don't you prove it? Push him up against the railing or pull him closer by his clothes. Railing. You press close to Ashton, backing him against the railing. Your body flush against his. It's also a good way to throw him off the boat this time, instead of a pool. Was this what you wanted then? A purer of A look of pure lust crosses his face, and his hands fly to your waist, holding you to him as a spray of the ocean mists his hair. Yes, I would have been satisfied just to hold you close. The words make your need for him flare, but you can't give in, not yet. You close the distance between you until your lips are a breath away from his. You never dreamed of kissing me? With a groan, his hands slide up your back to cradle the nape of your neck as if he might pull you the rest of the way himself. I wanted everything, Nora. It would be so easy to kiss him, to give in, even if you fear it's just a game to him. His apology only makes you want him more. Even if it ends in heartbreak, at least I have him once more. Before you can act on the impossibly reckless thought, your phone buzzes with a groan. You reach for it. Leave it. I can't. You pull away from Ashton and tap on your new text message from work, already dreading the news. Kiersey, I'm so sorry to have to tell you this. That promotion you've been gunning for, it just went to Jeremy. Welcome to everyday life. You blink at the screen for a moment, your eyes stinging, then pocket your phone with a sigh. What is it? The man-child who leaves trash on my desk was just given my promotion, the same one my manager all but promised me. But if your manager promised it to you... I'm sure that was a lie. There are dozens of us on that soundstage. They'll say anything to keep us there. You feel underappreciated there? Half the time I'm getting coffee for the director of an episode, and I guess that's what I'll be doing next year, too. But what about your skill? Do they not see how talented you are? Everyone there is just as talented and hardworking as I am. I don't believe that for a minute. He reaches out and you allow him to touch your arm. You're struck by the comfort such a small gesture brings you. Come with me. Now, more than ever, there's just one last stop I'd like to make. As night falls, you finish your outing with a visit to Ashton's office in downtown LA. You ride an elevator to the penthouse, your curiosity mounting with each floor you pass. When the doors open, you step into a wide office space, warmly lit and deserted for the night. Your heart leaps into your throat as you realize that you and Ashton are, for the first time all day, completely alone. Surely he didn't take me here for that. He barely even seems affected. I mean, the guy literally wanted to do it yesterday. As Ashton crosses the room, you put one foot in front of the other, trying to ignore the fantasies popping into your head. Seeing that we're friends again. Friends, right. Like a bucket of cold water, the word drives the delectable image of Ashton bending over a desk to the back of your mind. There's a very good reason I wanted to speak with you today. More business than pleasure. Just business? You sure make a lady feel special. Apologies out of the way, and now you can want to strike a deal? Is that what today was all about? Not at all. The apology was not something to get out of the way. Nothing about you is. Whatever happens in this room, it'll be solely your choice. With a flare of heat, you imagine entering the room and locking the door. How good it would feel if Ashton pressed you up against the wall. My choice. Got it. Get your head out of the gutter. Now, if you could please step into my office. I swear to God, if there's a casting couch, I'm done. Ashton. Ashton smoothly twists his key in the lock and opens the door to his private suite. The dark wood is polished to perfection. A decanter of whiskey rests on the table. Oh my God. You gaze out the panoramic windows, marveling at the nightlife of LA. Below, the city lights sparkle like a smattering of stars. Don't tell anyone, but I'm still blown away by the view. He joins you at the window, his presence warm and at complete odds with the display of wealth and power. The penthouse office is impressive. Not just impressive, lucky, and after last night I could use the extra help. Then Ashton begins to pace, his footwork crisp, his posture straight. Time to discover what this business proposal is all about. I'll just cut to the chase. I want to launch a new category in my streaming service, a fresh take on reality TV. I've seen your production talent, your job is running you ragged, and they just passed you over for a rightly deserved promotion. Eddie's a genius filmmaker, and LA was walked all over him. He could use a leg up until he can get back to doing what he loves. We don't want a handout. We've never wanted that. Ashton steps closer to you, he rolling off his body, the scent of his cologne familiar and disarming all at once. It's an opportunity. I want... He clears his throat, eyes meeting yours as K's makes your stomach clench in anticipation. What do you really want, Ashton? I want you working with me as an executive producer. This job would give you full creative control, prestige in your industry, the ability to travel wherever you wanted. And it would give me Ashton. You begin to soften as his sincerity holds strong, and you dream of what your own production studio would look like. It sounds amazing, but there's always a catch. Somehow I doubt working together makes us equals. I'd be working under you, surely. In name only. And there are no perks in it for you? Well, of course, spending time with you, for example, is a massive perk. I've never been an executive. That comes with a lot of power, wouldn't you say? And with power comes great responsibility. But if you know how to wield it, yes. Salivating at the thought of bossing me around. You laugh, even as need pulls between your legs. The thought of Ashton at your mercy makes you want to see how far he'd go. Just in the boardroom, I am a great producer, but I don't have the same experience as you on the business end. I'd be happy to give you some pointers, one-on-one, right here, right now. Executive decision-making, after all, is all about the art of persuasion. Of course it is. Practice persuading. He gestures for you to take his office chair. You want me to sit in your place? It's part of the lesson, and never back down before you start. His voice changes as he directs you, using full force of his gravitas and power. It's the same suave confidence from the party. But I don't feel like I have the upper hand here. You're the one hiring me. It's my chair. Please, Nora, just sit. You settle into the stately leathered backseat, instantly feeling the power in the room shift in your favor. Alright, persuasion. You're right in that I'm attempting to hire you, but you have more control than you realize. My cards are on the table, you know how badly I want this and want you. Your cards, they remain a mystery. You could walk away from this negotiation at any time you want. So we're playing poker. More or less, yes. You can see what he's doing. Ashton is showing you just how persuasive he can be, even when he's not the one in charge. You have some reservations, that's natural, but I imagine you also have the same conditions that might make this arrangement more appealing. More than you can possibly handle. Let's start there. If you were trying to persuade me to meet your terms, I'd suggest you disarm me first. A distracted target is an easy target. So, how would you go about doing that? I could use my wit. Hoping to throw me off with a backhanded joke at my expense. Always a reputable strategy. Lay it on me. Are you sure you can handle a little heat? Positive. You cross one leg over the other, regarding him from your perch. I do that love, that blind confidence of yours. Any other person might say this office is compensating for something. Not me, obviously, but some people. He struggles to keep a straight face for a second, but ultimately loses the battle, his laugh ringing out in the office. Disarmed yet? What can I say? You're unnatural. Lips curl into a smile. He glances at the decanter of whiskey on the coffee table. Oh, were you expecting a drink? I'd love one. I am feeling a little parched. Slowly, you rise from the chair and make your way to the table, dragging a finger along his desk as you go. I'll pour a glass for each of us, just one for me. I'm gonna go with one for me. You pour one glass and lean back, away from him, holding your cocktail just out of reach. I'd offer, but... You take a sip watching him. His tongue wets his lower lip, and you have to struggle to maintain control. You can't afford whiskey this good. Classic power move. I have to respect it. You're on the right track. You asserted your power by withholding a drink. I never flirted yet. He leans forward, placing his elbow on his knees, all nonchalance and confidence. This is your chance to make your demands. Shoot for the moon. What else do you want from me? On the surface, he may be talking about your negotiation, but you know he doesn't mean the job. What do I want? You study him. Every inch of him, from his expertly draped shirt to his perfectly styled hair, exudes status. The calm, collected CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. Have you seen half of the CEOs? Seriously, they don't exude confidence. And yet there's a trace of uncertainty in his eyes that only you have the power to soothe. I want to be in control this time. I'm open to working underneath you, if that's what you're after. In the boardroom, his throat bobs as you tap a manicured finger against the glass of your whiskey. The boardroom, the bedroom, any room, wherever you want. Never forget that you hold all the power here, Nora. If I wanted him, I bet I could have him right here in this room. And yet you threw him in a pool yesterday, because you had integrity and morals. You bite down on the inside of your cheek, your knee is suddenly wobbly. How does he still have this effect on me? I was furious before, and now... all you want is to reach out, trace his jaw, to kiss away the salt on his skin, to taste the kiss. It's laced with whiskey. He notices the shift in you, his lips part as he drags his eyes from your form to your gaze. Well, Nora, you have me where you want me. I'm yours. How do you plan to close this deal? This point is clear. It's time to end this negotiation. But not before I get my hands on him. I should twine my arms around his neck, perch on his lap. Hey, look, we forgave him. Didn't take much. You trail a hand up to his arm as you circle behind him. You can see how tense he is, poised in anticipation of your next move. Here's the thing, negotiation with you is tricky. You lean forward, twining your arms around his neck from behind, your lips a breath away from his ear. I can't look directly at you. I start to give in. You feel so good in your arms, every muscle toned, tight, as sharp intake of breath suggests your touch is the same desired effect. Then we're both in danger, aren't we? The timbre of his voice changes, husky, deep, like you've never heard before. I'd give just about anything to have you kiss me. With a devilish smirk, you curl your fingers under his jaw, turn his head towards yours, and pat his cheek. Too bad this negotiation is what I want. Ashton takes your hand and brushes his soft lips against your palm. And? Did you get it? I certainly learned how to have someone eat out of the palm of my hand. His fingers encircle your wrist, and he pulls you closer, his eyes burning with the question before it even leaves his lips. Nora, don't make promises you can't keep. Are you saying you're in? You meet his gaze, and you can see the old Ashton looking out of those gorgeous eyes. This is the man I knew. Ashton wants nothing more than to see me succeed and be powerful, to invite me into his world. Nostalgia overwhelms your senses, but there's something else to desire for this new Ashton. And I want him to see this new side of me, the adult side, the powerful side. I'm in. I'll be your EP. He leaps to his feet, wraps you in his arms, and then he's spitting you in the warmest, most chaotic hug in your life. Yes! You've made me just the luckiest man in all of LA, even all of Southern California. You breathe him in, trusting in his strength to carry you as your feet leave the floor. When he sets you down and steps back, it's over too soon. There's so much to do. I need to call the law. We'll need to make sure Eddie has his choice of equipment. Not so fast. You heard Eddie this morning. He doesn't want any part of it. If you're going to convince my brother to get on board, you're going to need my help. And so begins Chapter 3 with that. Alright, so without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember that if you did enjoy, to like, share, and subscribe. Head down the description. Plenty of things to check out, ways to support, and whatnot. Looks like Chapter 3, because no shit, isn't going to come out till next week. And then I've still got a hot shot to do, which... Okay, so anyway, this is what I feel about this book so far. A lot of people are already saying what I'm going to say, but I'll just go ahead and say it. It's just... Someone walks out of your life after 10 years, and they walk back in. And they just expect you to just give in to them. Like, I'm sorry, but am I the only one who doesn't have my head that far up my wazoo? Like, I get it. It's a book, and I'm sure people are going to be like, why are you ruining this for me? Even though I've never met a single person that's ever said that to me, but I just... This quick forgive and forget and, you know, love and all this whatnot is just, I don't know. I'm just going to go sloppy writing. Life just isn't like this. And I think some of the best writing in the world either allows you to slowly, for instance, like HP, right? It allows you to take on the role of mundanity, right? Much like HP, right? And kind of like, wow, life kind of sucks and yada, yada, yada. And slowly introduces you into a new world that's at least possible. And I think that's one of the reasons why we all love that stuff. It was within the realm of possibility, right? However, some of the like most disconnected things that don't fare well are things that throw people so far out there that they don't quite understand it. And for me, books like this, I just don't quite understand. I don't know. I know a lot of people are different. I'm just speaking on behalf of myself. But if someone came into my life that was a crush, and yeah, I've had some in my life, and they just were like, hey, yo, I know that I turned you down, I friend zoned you, whatever, 10 years ago. I'm back, and I have a bunch of money, and I'm going to swoon you off your feet. I'm not going to be so gullible, because if they cast me aside, right, for whatever it be, and most times it's for other love, right? Clearly he's had, air quote, that was the whole reason she got upset during Chapter 1, is other experiences and other women. Like, one could go as far as to say, well, those relationships didn't work out, so I guess you're desperate right now. Or, hey, look, he needs someone for a streaming service to make it, like, revitalized or put breath of fresh air into it. Oh, hey, how you doing? And he's just using you is about the best way to put it. Right? Like, am I the only one who's not gullible? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. It's just something that doesn't taste very well, right? It's like something that you don't like and you're being forced to eat it. And I only do this stuff because of you guys, because I know that you want to see it. And, like, I know that not all of you can afford VIP. I myself am struggling, I'm going to be honest with you, to cover it, especially because of the whole circumstances with YouTube and how much they've taken away from this community and this channel. So that's one of the reasons why I always ask for your support, because of this platform. So yeah, do consider that. But otherwise, that's, again, it's one of the reasons I cover this stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm just going to be honest with you, because I've always been honest with you. Especially if you got this far in the video. Excuse me. I'd rather be doing anything else right now than this. So. But I always give 110% every video. That's one of the reasons why my voice is starting to quit right now. But I still got hot shot to do. So. Thanks again for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.